having a planned caesarean birth increases the chance of developing a childhood cancer called lymphoblastic leukemia in the childhood period. Now this is where I give you permission to scroll on past if you don't want to know any further. I'm going to put a trigger warning on this because this will induce a range of different emotions talking about childhood cancers and the mode of birth. Just want to really reiterate, the research that's been done on this area is correlational. It does not decipher cause and effect, but I will go through some of the possible theories as to why there might be this link between planned caesarean births and not going into labour first and not going into labour and then having a caesarean, for example, and why the increase has been seen correlationary from population-based studies in developing childhood cancers. I also want to just add, childhood cancers are still incredibly rare. Here in the UK, there are only around about 770 new acute lymphoblastic leukemia cases every year, so around 2 a day. However, it is being aware that children under the age of 4 are more likely to develop this particular type of cancer. And if you're at all concerned, please go check out the NHS website all about lymphoblastic leukemia and the symptoms, and go and have a conversation with your GP about it if you have any concern. Now this is a massive study looking at almost 2.5 million births in Sweden. They looked longitudinally at births between 1982 and 1989 and 1999 and 2014. They looked at all of the children in this time frame who had developed ALL, so acute lymphoblastic leukemia in this time frame. And then they looked at the mode of birth. They also looked at other confounding factors as well. And what's really beneficial and reassuring from this piece of research is that people who had unplanned caesarean births, so that was after labour had started, after the waters had gone, there was no increase seen in developing acute lymphoblastic leukemia, which is reassuring. So if you have an unplanned caesarean birth for whatever reason, there is no increase seen in developing this particular childhood cancer. In women and people who had planned caesarean births, there was a significant increase in developing acute lymphoblastic leukemia for these babies and children in childhood. Now, just to reiterate, this is not cause and effect. This is correlational. This is looking at a whole population and noticing that there's a trend that is available. What this does is it provides a foundation to be able to do more research to find out why this increase may be seen from the correlational research that we've got. This is in no way, shape or form meant to make anybody feel guilty about the birth mode and the birth choices that they have had. Now, possible reasons include possibly to do with the gut microbiome. So we know that when babies are born vaginally, they swallow lots of mucus, they swallow lots of vaginal secretions on the way out. What that does is it lines their gut and helps their immune system develop further, helps to reduce the chance of allergies and developing allergies in later life. And this may be a possible reason behind why some children develop childhood cancers who are born by planned caesarean birth. Another possible thought is that when babies go through labour and birth, they go through a bit of stress and they are designed to withstand that stress. They are building on lots of brown fat stores, they have increased hemoglobin, they have increased glycogen stores, and the placenta is a great buffer as well. They are designed to go through the stresses of labour and birth. And so the other theory is that babies who are born by planned caesarean birth haven't been through that same stress. And does that have an impact on the immune system in that postnatal period that may potentially increase the chance of developing certain childhood cancers, as well as other things like allergies, for example, and also the predisposition as well to things like obesity. And whilst this is one of the largest studies, actually this has been seen in lots of other meta-analysis from other observational studies that have looked across the world. And another factor from the research is highlighted is that we don't necessarily know the reason behind having a planned caesarean birth. For some women and people, they will be having a planned caesarean birth out of medical necessity, either because of things like birth defects or things like maternal diabetes as an example. And some of these conditions can increase the chance of a baby developing childhood cancers later on down the line, regardless of the birth mode that has happened. And so this does have to be acknowledged as part of those findings. And that whilst birth mode may contribute to it, we need to think of further back prior to that planned caesarean birth happening, whether there are any other contributing factors to this. Now, this is just correlational data at this stage. There is no cause and effect. This does provide a platform, though, for researchers and scientists to look at why there might be this link found between planned caesarean birth and an increased chance of developing this childhood cancer. In undertaking some cause and effect research studies, it may then help find out the reason why, which will then help with prevention, treatment, even screening programs in the future too. So now there has been a link found in multiple very large observational studies. This should provide the foundation for better research to find out the reasons why, which will help future families who will be going through and having babies in the future, and in particular those who have planned caesarean births.